everyone, happy Wednesday. I spent some time thinking the last couple of days, post-holiday pet portraits, which were amazing. I did 16 sessions, so phenomenal turnout this year. I'm so appreciative and grateful. And I also had a conversation last week with Paul Ludwig, who I spent 3 years working with on the Canine Guardians documentary as a stills photographer, and wanted to just talk a little bit more, actually not even talk, I wanted to share with you the speech I gave at the launch of the movie. The movie is by Iron Dog Canine, Paul Ludwig and his team of people. It's called Canine Guardians, and it is a documentary about how to raise the bar on canine training so that people, civilians, law enforcement officers, canine handlers stay safer out on the streets. This is a subject matter that I've gone in very deeply over the last 5 years now. I have been working with canine units and photographing them since the beginning of my career, way back when for the Working Dog Foundation of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and David Furland, Lou Furland, who was amazing back then. I just actually saw him recently at one of the canine conferences, and he really inspired me to continue on the path of the working dog. And as a result, when Paul and Charlie Nash, who also worked very hard on this documentary project, had kind of their red carpet opening for the movie, asked me to give a speech the night before. And I am a former collegiate debater, so I have some speaking experience, and I'm proud of that skill. It's not something a lot of people see from me because I'm typically behind the scenes documenting with my camera. And I wanted to share this speech with you. I think it's a good time to do it. After talking with Paul the other day, it was a really special project for me to be on, and to be asked to speak in front of this large audience at the movie release and the premiere was a huge honor. And they wanted just a civilian's perspective and someone who wasn't necessarily in the thick of it doing patrol work, but someone who observed over the course of 3 years and saw the growth of the people who got their canines into this training. So I'm just going to leave you with this speech today. It's not too long, just to show you what it's like from my perspective, from a civilian's perspective and an artist's perspective, and someone who just deeply cares about law enforcement and our canine unit. So here we go. Photography is a small voice. At the best, sometimes, just sometimes, one photograph or a group of them can lure our senses into awareness. Someone, or perhaps many among us, may be influenced to heed reason, to find a way to right that which is wrong. The rest of us may perhaps feel a greater sense of understanding and compassion for those whose lives are alien to our own. Photography is a small voice. It is an important voice in my life, not the only one. I believe in it. That's a quote from W. Eugene Smith. I want to be the forgettable member on this crew, which is why I'm proud to say these guys call me their photo ninja. It is the dogs and the handlers in my images I want to be the storytellers. They have the come hither elements in my images with the power to captivate and beg you, the viewer, to ask, what's happening here? I want to know the story behind this image. From my experience working on this film, I can confirm that these trainers, handlers, and dogs have intense drive, deep passion, undeniable courage, dedicated hearts, and that it factor required to do the dangerous job as canine units and military working dogs. My images share an intimate view of this story of a human-canine bond forged from trust, respect, valor, protection, survival, and courage. The scenarios I've been privy to include waiting in a dark, dusty cement room with a decoy as the canine sniffs around the perimeter, feeling the physical energy build as the predator seeks its prey. A building search on the hip of a special operations warrior and his military working dog in the darkness of night where, as a two-person unit, they move in concert with each other, and only the canine's instincts and deftly developed training of this team safely secure the suspect. There's the intensely loud flashbangs that shake one to the core in a street apprehension where the canine is sent into the proverbial fire. High-speed chases, leaning out of a sunroof, capturing stills as a siren blares and the movement sways my body as we screech to a halt and deploy a canine. Perching on the roof of a subway car, while a SWAT team moves in conjunction with law enforcement canines in the station in search of multiple armed suspects. All of these scenarios are approached as real-world possibilities with focus and a mission to accomplish. Life or death, these teams rush into danger, and they need every advantage of having the best trainers, exposure to work, to all possible scenarios, and putting only the dogs with heart and handlers with the same on patrol. Iron Dog works in a unique capacity on their training by viewing each canine and handler team as an individual case. No cookie-cutter solutions are here. Their training is done based on decades of real-world experience, little ego, extreme intensity, and the sole desire to keep these teams and the people they protect safe. It's life and death for these teams. The training that Iron Dog brings to the teams is second to none. The results are proven in any environment, and it's done with heart and the best of intentions. It's been an honor to be a small voice for this team and to work next to both the handlers and their dogs and to document these everyday heroes in photographs. The Iron Dog team is bringing the standard of tactical street training to the next level, saving lives and making the world a safer place to thrive for law enforcement and civilians. So that's my speech that I gave. I just wanted you guys to know that when I'm part of a project, it's an intrinsic part of me to take every single moment in, and what I'm yielding is an experiential document. The photograph is just that, and learning and sharing and educating in a way that in some small little teeny methodology opens the door and gives you a view inside a world that's not normally on display for the public at large. And I just am so grateful for that opportunity I had, and it keeps coming back to me, and I keep thinking about those 3 years I spent with those guys and those teams and the continual work that I have been doing, mostly local now. During the time I was with the Canine Guardians, I had a commute to Virginia. I am a true road warrior. I didn't mind it, no complaints. I just wanted to go where the work and the assignments were, and being in new places and meeting incredible people, where my camera became this passport to introductions, to relationships and friendships and education, and I just ate it up. So I was honored that Paul and Charlie asked me to give a speech, and I hope that you guys appreciated a little bit of my viewpoint, not just as a photographer, but as an experience creator, and having that trust and that faith in my law enforcement clients is it's super important to me, and it's very relevant, and I don't underestimate that in any way, shape, or form. So thanks for tuning in, guys. That was my little share for this week, and I'm going to get back to working on images. I was downloading some more work from a recent assignment, and also the holiday pet portraits, and while things were loading, I thought I'd still be productive, grab my iPhone, and do a little Facebook Live for you. So have a great rest of your week, everybody. Please stay safe to my law enforcement peeps. Take care of those canines for me. They're my faves, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah.